Did Remy Ma just reveal that Pap may not have been involved in her creative process the way some people believe, all because of a top 5 rappers discussion? This resurfaced clip has a lot of people talking right now. Welcome back to the channel, Shottenary. It's your boy Marcus Hale. Thanks for joining me today, and thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you for pulling up and checking out the latest conversation.
Every month? Boy, I'm not sure you left to take out the garbage. That serious? That ass. Wow. Crazy. You sure you're retiring after this, right? Because I can't take no more of this shit. This shit was nuts. It was really nuts. But no, we don't even discuss music. To answer your question, we do not discuss music. I explain it to people all the time. This started before we was even married. We was, I don't even think we was dating yet. We was just like friends, but we knew we liked each other. We was just friends. And he asked me one day, and he goes, who's your top 5? So I'm thinking it's a regular, innocent rap question. I didn't know my life was hanging on the line. So I'm like, my top 5 changes, which I think makes perfect sense, because when I was in high school and I liked Jada and DMX and Jay-Z, I didn't know Lil Wayne was gonna exist one day.
Today, we're diving into Remy Ma, and we're also talking about her husband, Pap. I want to give a shout out to the Talk Lounge because they brought attention to a resurfaced Drink Champs clip that is raising some interesting questions. The clip stands out because Pap has often been associated with claims that he played a major role behind the scenes in Remy Ma's career, including discussions about writing and creative contributions. However, based on a story Remy shared about a conversation they had while dating, some viewers feel it paints a very different picture.
That he exists, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know about J. Cole. I didn't know about a lot of people, that my shit changes over time. So I tell him my top 5. I don't even know who it was then. He just lets me say, and he's listening to me lie. And then when I finish, he looks at me and he goes, pun has to be rolling over in his grave. Yeah, I was like, what? First of all, you don't even know, but matter of fact, we're not talking about music no more. Like, I was highly offended. I wanted to fight. First of all, you already know Bronx people and Brooklyn people don't even really with each other like that. Yeah. So it was just like a weird thing. Like,
it's a straight miracle. Yes,
very much so. Like, I was just like, we just not gonna talk about it. Like, especially then I realized, like, he puts himself in his own top 5. Why am I even talking to him? Like, he's a different type. Like, why am I talking to him? Why? Like, this conversation is going nowhere. So we don't talk music at all, period.
What's also getting people talking is that some critics have made similar observations regarding Pap's connections to Clarissa. According to those opinions, he has been linked to major business opportunities, including discussions surrounding an $8 million deal and relationships within the boxing world. Some people believe he takes on a larger role in these stories, while others see things differently. As for Clarissa, she appears to have her own perspective and has publicly suggested that she doesn't fully know what Pap's role is with Win Records. That alone has sparked even more debate online. Now, let's get into exactly what Remy Ma said on Drink Champs, because this clip is definitely turning heads, and I've got a reaction to it. Today, we're talking about Remy Ma, and we're also taking a look at her husband, Papoose, because a resurfaced Drink Champs clip has people raising their eyebrows and asking a lot of questions. First, shout out to the Talk Lounge for bringing attention to this clip. The reason it's getting so much attention is because it offers an interesting perspective on claims that Papoose played a major role behind the scenes in Remy Ma's rap career. Over the years, there's been plenty of discussion about his level of involvement in her creative journey. However, based on a conversation Remy shared about the time they were dating, some viewers believe it suggests he may not have been as connected to her artistic process as many assumed. At the same time, critics have pointed to similar conversations involving Clarissa. Some people believe Papoose often gets linked to major opportunities, including talks surrounding an $8 million deal and relationships within the boxing industry. Those claims have sparked debate, with different sides viewing his contributions in very different ways. Meanwhile, Clarissa appears to have her own outlook on the situation and has publicly suggested that she isn't fully sure what Papoose's role is with Win Records. That's another detail that has kept people talking online. Now let's get into exactly what Remy Ma said during Drink Champs, because this clip definitely has people buzzing and I've got a reaction to share. So right away, Remy Ma seems to be showing that she and Papoose weren't exactly on the same page when it came to music. That's one of the reasons this clip has people questioning just how involved he really was in her creative process. If their views on music were that different, it's easy to see why some people are challenging the narrative surrounding those ghostwriting claims. But the next part is where things get even more surprising. Take a listen to this and see what you think. Now, this moment has a lot of people talking because Papoose appeared extremely confident in his own ranking. Some viewers couldn't believe that he would place himself among the top 5 greatest rappers of all time, especially when that kind of list usually includes some of the biggest names in hip-hop history. That's exactly why the clip continues to spark debate online. And before anyone brings up the Touch It remix, many fans point out that the original record already had major momentum before the remix version came along. That's been part of the discussion whenever people debate the impact various artists had on that song and its success. Another interesting detail is Remy's reaction during the conversation. Even back then, she seemed surprised by some of Papoose's career decisions. She joked about him staying focused on music projects, and her comments gave viewers a glimpse into the dynamic they shared at the time. Looking back now, those moments are being viewed through a completely different lens. There's also been plenty of discussion over Papoose's music career and how people perceive it today. Some fans feel he never received the recognition they believe he deserved, while others argue that his career simply didn't reach the level that many expected. Either way, opinions remain all over the place. Remy also touched on the differences between people from various New York boroughs, which added another layer to the conversation. While everyone has their own experiences and perspectives, that part definitely caught people's attention as well. What really stands out, though, is how Papoose seemed determined to find a deeper meaning in what Remy was saying. Whether he was joking, being competitive, or taking the conversation more seriously than intended, it created one of those moments that viewers are still breaking down years later. Did anyone else catch that detail? Papoose was the one asking Remy about her top 5 rappers of all time, but the moment her list didn't match what he seemed to expect, there was suddenly a comment about it. That's the part that has people looking at this exchange a little differently. For example, when Big Pun's name came up, some viewers felt Papoose was ready with a reaction no matter what answer Remy gave. If she left someone off the list, there was a comment. If she included them, some people believe there probably would have been another comment waiting right behind it. That's why this moment continues to get dissected years later. A lot of critics have argued that Papoose has a tendency to challenge or push back during conversations, and this clip is often brought up. Looking back, some fans say they preferred when Pap stayed more in the background because they focused mainly on his public image rather than hearing his opinions in these kinds of exchanges. Once old interviews and clips started resurfacing, people began forming much stronger opinions about his personality and behavior.
That's also why some viewers remain skeptical about claims regarding how involved he may have been in Remy Ma's creative process.
They point to moments like this and wonder whether the public perception matched the reality behind the scenes. Of course, that's a matter of opinion, but it's definitely part of the ongoing conversation. And here's what really made people laugh. While discussing the greatest rappers of all time, Pap appeared confident enough to place himself in that elite category. The reaction from those around him said a lot, and for many viewers, it instantly brought back memories of classic comedy sketches that poked fun at larger-than-life music industry egos. It was one of those moments that had people saying, "Wait, did that really just happen? I spit rhymes when I spit." That line still gets people laughing to this day. The Making the Band parody on Chappelle's Show remains one of the most memorable comedy sketches ever, and the over-the-top personalities in that spoof are a big reason why. Every scene felt more ridiculous than the last, and that's what made it so entertaining. That's also why some viewers find this conversation so interesting. Pap often presents himself as a major figure in the music world, but critics have questioned the impact of some of his projects. For example, people still bring up the period when he released a large amount of music in a short time and ask a simple question: which songs made the biggest splash with listeners? That's a debate that continues whenever his career comes up in discussions online. What also stands out is the way he reacted to Remy's list. At the time, they weren't even married yet, and the conversation seemed to be centered around something that should have been pretty straightforward: her personal opinion. That's the key point here. If someone asks for your top 5 rappers, top 5 athletes, or top 5 entertainers, the answer is naturally going to be based on your own experiences and preferences. That's where these debates can get wild. Some people act like there's only one correct list, but that's not how opinions work. Everyone judges greatness differently. One person may focus on lyrical ability, while someone else cares more about hit records, influence, longevity, storytelling, stage presence, or cultural impact. There's so many different ways to evaluate an artist. Age and generation also play a huge role in these conversations. Someone who grew up during one era of hip-hop may have a completely different list than someone who came up during another. That's normal. Music connects with people in different ways depending on when they experienced it and what artists shaped their taste at the time. And let's be real, hip-hop is always evolving. New artists emerge, trends change, and careers develop. When major stars break onto the scene and dominate the culture, they naturally shake up people's rankings and force fans to revisit old lists. That's why these top 5 debates never seem to end. They keep changing as the game keeps moving forward. Or when Kendrick Lamar came onto the scene and completely shifted the conversation. That's the thing about music rankings. They change over time as new artists make their mark and reshape the culture. What someone's top 5 looked like years ago may be completely different today. What caught a lot of people's attention in this clip, though, was how Pap seemed to turn a simple discussion into something much bigger. Some viewers felt that instead of just accepting Remy's personal list, he looked for openings to challenge it or push back on her choices. That's why this moment continues to spark reactions whenever people revisit it. According to critics, this is part of a pattern they believe they've seen before. The argument is that Pap often asks for someone's opinion, then immediately starts debating it, questioning it, or breaking it down point by point. Whether that's fair or not is up for debate, but it's definitely a perception that some people have developed over the years. What made this exchange even more interesting was how the spotlight seemed to shift. While Remy was simply sharing her personal favorites, Pap appeared confident enough to place himself into the conversation in a major way. For many viewers, that came across as a strong display of self-belief, while others interpreted it as ego. Either way, people definitely noticed it. That's where a lot of the online discussion comes from. Some critics argue that confidence is one thing, but they question whether that level of self-praise matches the public recognition and commercial success associated with some of the artists typically placed on all-time great lists. Others, of course, see it differently and respect his confidence regardless of chart performance. The reactions have been all over the place. The reason this resurfaced clip has generated so much attention is because it gives people another glimpse into the dynamic between Remy and Pap before they were married. Looking back, some viewers feel the conversation highlighted major differences in how they approached music discussions. To those fans, it almost sounds like one of those topics that could quickly turn into a debate every single time it came up. That's what made this clip stand out when it resurfaced through Talk Lounge Official. A simple conversation about favorite rappers ended up revealing much more about personalities, perspectives, and how these two interacted with each other behind the scenes. No wonder people are still talking about it years later.
Some viewers have looked at moments like this and come away with the impression that Pap enjoys turning simple conversations into debates.
From their perspective, what started as a harmless question about favorite rappers somehow became a bigger discussion than it needed to be. That's one reason this clip keeps getting attention years later. After all, Remy was sharing her personal top 5 list, her opinion, her criteria, and her own reasons behind those choices. Everyone judges artists differently. Some people focus on lyrics, others focus on influence, hit records, longevity, or cultural impact. There isn't one universal answer. That's why some fans found it strange that a personal ranking seemed to spark such a strong reaction. What really stood out to many viewers was what happened next. After questioning parts of Remy's list, Pap appeared ready to place himself into the conversation as one of the greatest. That immediately got people talking. Critics online have argued that it came across as extremely confident, while others felt it crossed into self-promotion. Either way, it definitely became one of the most memorable parts of the exchange. Another reason the clip is being revisited is because people are now re-examining the dynamic between Remy and Pap. Looking back, some fans believe Remy sounded tired of having certain discussions and personality traits being displayed, while others think it was simply a disagreement that people are now analyzing years later. Either way, the interaction gave fans plenty to discuss and revisit. The confidence on display throughout the conversation definitely caught people's attention, and that's a big reason why this clip has continued making the rounds online. Years later, fans are still debating what it reveals about the people involved and the relationship dynamics behind the scenes. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think about these clips? Do you think people are reading too much into the conversation, or do you believe it reveals something bigger? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the channel so more people can join the conversation. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're the first to know whenever new content drops.
This is Marcus Hale with the Shade Area channel. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.